So I want to share the Howey test with you. This is how you determine what's a security or not, which if it's a security, it has to be regulated by the SEC.
Right.
Okay.
I agree with that.
The 4 rules: an investment of money in a common enterprise with a reasonable expectation of profit derived from the efforts of others. So let's talk about those individually, and you let me know which one of those that NovaTech doesn't fulfill.
They do all of them.
Yeah. So, and that means that they pass the Howey test and that they are offering an investment contract, which is by law a security. So
that's probably why California's coming down on them right now.
The following is a conversation with James Corbett. In this video, James unknowingly admits that NovaTech FX is a fraudulent company. James is a serial Ponzi scheme promoter. He's been involved in the failed R-Network Ponzi scheme, the failed AWS mining Ponzi scheme, NovaTech, and GS Partners. All are Ponzi schemes. He's been promoting NovaTech FX for the past few years and has over 100,000 people in his downline. So he's directly and indirectly responsible for all of the coming losses of his downline in NovaTech. So the heart of the issue here with NovaTech is they're offering an unregistered security, and that's also known as an investment contract. So this means there's no audited proof that NovaTech is even trading. The fact that NovaTech is offering an illegal investment hints that they're not trading at all, and that the whole operation is, in fact, a Ponzi scheme. Why would they not register with the SEC when by law they're required to? It's because they're not trading. So the way to determine if an investment is a security or not is by using the Howey test. If a business fulfills the Howey test, then it must be registered with the SEC or they're operating illegally. So the 4 rules of the Howey test are: an investment of money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profit to be derived from the effort of others. So this would also be a passive investment. So now what all the people in NovaTech try to claim is that cryptocurrency isn't regulated by the SEC. And they're correct about that, but NovaTech is not cryptocurrency. NovaTech is an investment that uses cryptocurrency, and that's a major, major distinction. So the SEC is very clear about this on their website. They say, any investment in securities in the United States remains subject to the jurisdiction of the SEC regardless of whether the investment is made in US dollars or a virtual currency, directly from the SEC. So this talk about securities and investment contracts may seem boring, but it's at the heart of the issue. So without proof that NovaTech is trading, it's very safe to say that they're operating an illegal Ponzi scheme. And they're offering astronomical returns, so without proof that they're trading, then makes it very, very likely it's a Ponzi scheme. So they're either going to be shut down or they're going to stop paying all of their investors. I predict sometime in the next year. I don't have a crystal ball, but it is coming soon. There were some technical issues near the beginning of this video, but it gets better pretty quickly. I'll also include James' follow-up emails to me at the end of the video where he wants to claim that I'm a hater and that I'm broke. Both of these things are far from the truth. So why would anyone hate on something they could just invest into? It just makes no sense. I could just go invest, so why would I be a hater? And to say that I'm broke, well, I don't really want to comment on that too much, but I'm not broke. I'll just say it that way. And also, why would that matter if I was? Why does that have any relevance to the fact that NovaTech's operating a Ponzi scheme and that James even admits that they passed the Howey test, which means they're operating illegally? So with all that said, let's get into the conversation with James Corbett.
Hi, Brandon.
Thanks. How's it going, man? I thought you bailed on me there for a second.
No, started watching the news and I got distracted. That's all.
Got it.
No. I wouldn't bail. I do these. I live on my Zooms.
Got it. Okay, that's good. I had to set up a temporary little office here. I'm in Thailand right now. Whereabouts are you at?
Long Island.
Long Island. Nice. Got it.
Yeah.
Done a bit of traveling though, right? I think you travel all around, like Dubai. I heard you mention that before, and Paraguay.
Yeah. I was in Dubai at the blockchain conference in April. Well, actually, the end of March, early April 2019.
Got it. Is that where does Cynthia and Eddie live there now?
No, they live in Florida.
Okay. They just moved. I saw they sold their house.
No, they didn't move.
Oh, they sold their house though?
No.
I can show you if you want me to pull it up.
Yeah, show me.
Yeah.
Show me.
Okay. Let me get pulled up here. I thought they had already skipped on over to Dubai.
No.
Okay. Let me I'll find it. Just give me a sec here. Yeah, let's jump
Yeah,
into
no, it's all good. No. I hope not. I'm going down to visit them in May.
Okay. So you're actually pretty close to them, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, not as much as I used to be, but yeah.
Got it. Are they're like big time in you now? Is that what's happening?
No, not at all. I diversify, and NovaTech is just like 1/10 of what I do. So I'm not really
Got it.
as when it was the only thing I was doing, it was different, you know?
Right. I'm just pulling it up here. There was a post that I saw. Basically, you can like verify their home address by looking at some of their LLCs and all that stuff. Then like following the chain, and someone basically uncovered that they had sold their house in Florida.
Interesting. Yeah, I heard somebody else say that. That's funny.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you if they were already in Dubai.
They're actually this month right now. They're having their daughter's getting married right now, and so I hope they're not in Dubai.
So they're all in Florida then.
Yeah, they're in Florida. They're in Wellington.
Got it. Yeah, just pulling this up right now.
About a half an hour from the they live in that area. You know, I mean, I fly in and could get to their house from West Palm Beach probably in a half an hour. So they're not anywhere outside the States. They don't plan on ever leaving the States. They love the States.
Got it. Not fun.
Why would they leave? Why would they leave the States?
Because NovaTech is an unregistered offering, and
How do you register a non-security?
it is a security.
Bitcoin?
No, is NovaTech Bitcoin? What cryptocurrency is NovaTech?
NovaTech trades cryptocurrency only for people in the United States. They trade Forex offshores because what happens is you're not licensed, or they're not able to trade Forex in the United States for our citizens here. That's all.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying, though, is you're saying that NovaTech is Bitcoin. You're saying that it is cryptocurrency. It's not cryptocurrency. It is
cryptocurrency.
Registered hedge fund that you no longer market it as, but it's been labeled as.
Can't say that. They can't say that anymore. No, they have to say something about trading advisors or something.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that it is offering a security. What's the reason to put money into NovaTech? Why would someone give money to NovaTech?
Well, they're traders. They trade for you. They manage PAM accounts.
Yeah, so it's to make profits, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the only reason that someone would give money to NovaTech is to make profits.
Yes.
Okay, so do you know what the Howey test is?
No.
Okay.
I heard about it, but they're trying to pull that. Say it again. I think they have actually talked about this in the California cease and desist order.
Yeah, so it's NovaTech basically passes the Howey test, and that's how you determine what a security is. I would expect you to know that since you've been doing this, like you've been involved in a lot of unregistered securities that have been shut down. I thought you would know that by now.
I have?
Yeah, like AWS mining got a cease and desist from Texas.
What about AWS? What about AWS mining? What do you know about AWS mining?
I just shared that with you. It was given a cease and desist from Texas.
Actually, yes. As a matter of fact, the person, and if you look at that cease and desist order, who does it say on that cease and desist order in Texas?
I haven't looked at that. Who does it say?
Doesn't say the Pettyon's name.
I didn't say that it did. I said you have been involved.
Right. So I just want to let you know. So the person that caused that cease and desist order was on my team in AWS. AWS was just selling mining contracts. They were mining Bitcoin.
Yeah, but it also was an unregistered security. The reason you would give money to them is so that they would invest and buy like mining equipment.
But if it's crypto, it's not a security.
It's not crypto though. You keep saying that it's an investment contract. The reason why someone, I'm glad we're talking about this, by the way, because this is what it all boils down to. Almost everything that you've been involved in, it seems, is labeled as
I've been involved with a couple of things.
Well, you just told me this 1/10 of what you
think.
Right? But all right, let's get back.
But that's it. But the other stuff I do has nothing to do with trading crypto or forex. It could be real estate. It could be precious metals. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
MLM.
Let's stick to one thing: the Howey test. This is how you determine what a security is, right? And let me just pull up the Howey test, and I'll share my screen with you.
Sure.
And then we'll go through them one by one, and you tell me why, at that point, you still believe that it's not a that it's not a security.
That's better, probably, right?
Yeah, hopefully this works. Now, I'm just not going to share my screen. Sometimes it crashes once, and then it's fine. But then today it's not working. So I haven't done a Zoom meeting in a while. So we were talking about the.
I had the. Yeah, wait. I just want to let you know I had the same problem with my Zoom, and I had a guy come in and clean it up because I couldn't figure it out, and it's working ever since. So I feel like it might be updates that you might be missing in the Zoom.
That's probably it. I haven't had a business meeting or anything like on Zoom in a while. So, we were talking about the Howey test, and we were talking about, you keep saying that basically Bitcoin isn't a security, and I agree with you. Currently, the regulation is that Bitcoin is not a security, but NovaTech is not Bitcoin. NovaTech is not a cryptocurrency. They trade cryptocurrencies, but the medium of investment does not matter in terms of if it's a security or not. If you were buying apples and selling them, and you said, "Hey, Brandon, I'm going to, you give me $10 and I'll give you a return on your money because what I'm going to do is go buy apples," it would still be a security because the reason I'm investing with you is to make money. So I do want to mention the thing about that from the SEC that they've put out. And since I can't share my screen, I'm just going to read it to you really fast.
Yeah, it's fine.
Let me put it over here. This is directly from the SEC. It says, "We are concerned that the rising use of virtual currencies in the global marketplace may entice fraudsters to lure investors into Ponzi and other schemes in which these currencies are used to facilitate fraudulent or simply fabricated investments or transactions. The fraud may also involve an unregistered offering or trading platform," which sounds like NovaTech to me. "These schemes often promise high returns for getting on the ground floor of a growing phenomenon." And here's the main part. Fraudsters may also be attracted using virtual currencies to perpetrate their frauds because transactions virtual currencies supposedly have greater privacy benefits. Any investment in securities in the United States remains subject to the jurisdiction of the SEC, regardless of whether the investment is made in US dollars or virtual currency. So I'm going to read the last sentence again. Any investment in securities in the United States remains subject to the jurisdiction of the SEC, regardless of whether the investment is made in US dollars or virtual currencies. That's directly from the SEC.
Right. How does it get paid out?
In cryptocurrency.
Yeah, crypto in and crypto out safeguards it from that.
No, I just told you that. I'll read it one more time.
Oh, I hear every word you're saying, but again,
so what do you disagree with what they said? They said that it doesn't matter.
I can't. Why would I disagree with any of that? I can't disagree with any of that.
Yeah, but so you just said crypto in, crypto out, so that doesn't matter. And literally, the SEC.
No, I'm just telling you that's what NovaTech uses to get around that law. Crypto in, crypto out. They're not an exchange. They're just a trading platform.
Yeah, but
I'm just letting you know this is what I understand. That's all.
I know, but I'm letting you know why this is very incorrect by reading you directly from the SEC. Any investment in securities in the United States remains subject to the jurisdiction of the SEC, regardless of whether the investment is made in US dollars or virtual currencies.
Right. But what I don't understand is what part of that has to do with me?
Because you're promoting NovaTech. That's why, and I'm trying to share with you why I believe that, or why, in fact, NovaTech is a Ponzi scheme, and you don't think it's a Ponzi scheme.
If it's a Ponzi scheme, let me ask you something. If it's a Ponzi scheme, let's just look at it from a rational point of view. Wouldn't they be asking money to trade on their platform?
That's not how Ponzi schemes work. That would be paying them to trade.
They're paying out of the trade profits that they make each week. But and that's clear just based on the ROI run in parallel with the markets. You can see in a fluctuating market, we get higher ROIs.
Yeah, this is all Ponzi.
We get dead ROIs.
I want to cut you off. Sorry, that's all like Ponzi talk. Like you can say that about any Ponzi scheme. I don't care about the direct details of why you say that it's legitimate, because you can make up anything about any of the Ponzi schemes, like Cash FX. Like that's a Ponzi. That was a Ponzi. E-mini FX, very, very similar to NovaTech.
Of course it was.
Yeah, very similar. And it
what's similar?
Like E-mini.
What is similar to NovaTech?
E-mini FX that
I never heard of that. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, they were E-mini FX, Cash FX. You invest money. They trade for you. They either have a bot or professional traders. Cash FX was doing something very similar to what NovaTech is doing. Ponzi scheme shut down by all the governments, haven't paid out in over a year and a half. Anyways, so
who hasn't been paid out in NovaTech?
Not yet. So it seems that you don't
in four going on 5 years.
Yeah. What's the average length of a Ponzi scheme? How long does the average Ponzi scheme last?
Year or two, maybe tops.
Yeah, but where did you get that information?
Well, just based on how many programs do you see go past a year?
The average Ponzi scheme lasts 4.3 years.
Nice. So we still got a couple of months. Cool.
Yeah. Well, if you understand how average.
It seems like you have a lot invested. You have a lot invested in NovaTech. Do you have something invested in NovaTech that I should know about that you need help with? Like, you seem very concerned with what's going on. That has nothing to do with you.
Why are you deflecting here? You're just deflecting, doing the "you're a hater" thing.
Because I've been defending NovaTech for 4 years. I traveled the world with these people the 3 prior years. I know the development and what happened and what they did to develop NovaTech. I know the trading and the board meetings and how they went about in the story of how they opened up and why they even opened up a trading certificate. I'm sorry, I do other accounts. Why they even started NovaTech. I was there for why they started NovaTech. Trust me, it wasn't wonder what type of Ponzi scheme we could come up with. To know the truth, you need to know the people behind it. You don't know the people behind it. You think they live in Dubai.
Well,
you don't have the proper information on the people that are bringing it to you. That's the problem.
You didn't know that they sold their home. And what you're doing now is deflecting from facts and saying,
I know what they sold. I know what they sold. They sold Eddie's father's house probably because he just passed away. They probably didn't want to keep the house. They have 4 or 5 houses down in that area because they're all family down there. I don't think that's private information, but they twist everything around on these people. They've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And it's been nothing but lies.
So
you know, they came out with this stuff right from day one. And let me tell you why they all came out with it. Because they all blamed the Pettyons for AWS crashing. If anything, they tried to save AWS.
So I don't actually care about like any of these things that much. The main thing here is that I believe it's a Ponzi scheme. The reason I believe you're saying it can't be a Ponzi scheme because it's lasted 4 years. The average Ponzi scheme lasts 4.3 years.
That's just one of the reasons. That was one of the reasons.
Okay. Well, you keep saying I know the people. I know you're like appealing to like the emotional side of things, which you're very good at.
Right.
This is how you get so many people underneath you in NovaTech because you're very good at like deflecting.
How many people I signed up in NovaTech?
Well, I know that you're high up there. You said you had in your downline there like over 40,000 people. Yeah.
I have almost 100,000. Okay. But I only signed up maybe a dozen.
Yeah. But I understand. But you've been out front about it, like promoting it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's a Ponzi scheme. You say it can't be a Ponzi scheme because of Ponzi schemes collapse in a year or two. The average Ponzi scheme lasts 4.3 years. So that one, you would admit that. Hopefully I could screen share, but I'll send you the link.
Send me a screenshot. I'd love to see it. I want to see the house too screenshot.
Yeah, I'll have to pull that up later because I was searching through Facebook to find it because it's in a Facebook group. But I'll get that to you too. I just don't want to waste a bunch of time.
No problem, Brandon. No problem.
Okay, and now let's get back to the Howey test because this is
please, I've been meaning to read that. I never did.
This is very important because on your website you say that you would never promote something that didn't have the proper licenses. You say that on your website, and
you're talking about the Profit Servant website?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
You say that on the About Us page. You would never promote something that didn't have the proper licenses. But it seems that you don't understand the Howey test, so you wouldn't know what a proper license was. So I want to share the Howey test with you. This is how you determine what's a security or not, which if it's a security, it has to be regulated by the SEC.
Right. Okay. I agree with that.
Let me, all right, here are the 4 things that you need for the Howey test. An investment of money in a common enterprise, NovaTech, a reasonable expectation of profits derived from the effort of others. Those are all 4. So in other words, an investment of money that is a passive investment. A passive investment has to be registered with the SEC. So the 4 rules: an investment of money in a common enterprise with a reasonable expectation of profit derived from the efforts of others. So let's talk about those individually, and you let me know which one of those that NovaTech doesn't fulfill.
They do all of them.
Yeah. So, and that means that they pass the Howey test and that they are offering an investment contract, which is by law a security. So
that's probably why California's coming down on them right now.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why it's either gonna be shut down or collapse within the next year, probably.
Don't forget, a year from today, if they're still running, you got to come on and say you're wrong.
Okay, I promise I will, and you have to do the same. You have to say
100%. 100%, I will. 100%, I will.
You have to say like Cynthia and Eddie are scammers. They were operating a Ponzi scheme, and I didn't know that.
That you can't determine that if the government closes down like Canada did, all legal or non-legal, it doesn't matter. They shut them down like Canada did. That had nothing to do with the Ponzi scheme. If NovaTech is still up and running and serving the rest of the world, we can't say that, right? So if they shut down in the United States and they're still serving the rest of the world, they're still running, right?
So I would, okay. What I'm saying is if they get shut down in the U.S., like that's what What I'm saying is that they are offering an unregistered security it is a Ponzi scheme, but the thing is, it would be very, very hard to prove within 1 year that it's a Ponzi scheme because it takes the SEC a while. What they end up doing later, as they did with like Zeke rewards, for the big Ponzi
I heard about that one too. I heard about Zeke too. That was before NovaTech.
Yeah, it was a while ago. But what ends up happening is it takes a while for them to determine like if like the Pettyons use money, if they were actually investing. It takes a long time for them to figure that out. To say it's a Ponzi scheme, we can't say that within a year probably, but it will collapse.
Well, no, they're 4 years old. If they are, they've had to have been being investigated by now, right? It's not like the clock starts right now on them investigating them.
Yeah, the average Ponzi scheme lasts 4.3 years. I just want to say that again because you're talking about.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying we probably won't know it until 5.5 years.
Yeah, I'm saying that it will be shut down within a year, either by the government or they'll quit paying out. Which they already are delaying payments, but
do you know why?
Well,
do you know why they're delaying payments?
Yes.
Why?
I know what you're going to say, but because it's a Ponzi scheme, and this is what always happens at the end of Ponzi schemes whenever they start imploding, is that there are less investors that are coming in now, or at least less money coming in. So they're having trouble paying out. And you're going to tell me
what was I going to say?
You're going to tell me that because California, they're having to get all the money out. Because of Canada, they're having to send all the money out. That's what you're going to say.
No. Well, yeah, sort of. First of all, California, they could still trade on this platform. They haven't been stopped from trading. They're still running their things. Canada, being the way they shut down Canada, and Canada is just forget about it. It's a mess. Canada's shutting down there, but think about what you're saying. They're paying back everybody in Canada that was trading on their platforms. And it's going on right now, trust me, because I'm working with all those people and onboarding them onto GSP, right? So they're actually paying out thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars back to the people in Canada. Yeah. And you're telling me that they're frauds? Why would they be giving their money back? And why would they not charge? They charge only $25 for the use of their platform. If they were scammers, why wouldn't they charge more? If they're so popular now, listen, we went from
let's go with 36. Let's go with one question. You ask me questions. You're just going on a spiel right now. You ask me questions, and I want to address those because you're skipping over them in like a pitch for why NovaTech's not a fraud. But you asked me why they're paying people back. So
right.
Ponzi schemes, how they operate, I'm sure you know, they pay people back so that other people that would invest in the future see that they've paid out, and then more people will come in. That's why Ponzi schemes pay out. What happens with Ponzi schemes is they pay out until they don't. Like Cash FX, USIT.
I'm quite aware of how it works.
So you telling me that is just deflecting. It's like, why are they paying people back? Because that's what Ponzi schemes do. They pay people back.
So is it a bad thing that they're paying people back?
No.
It's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. That's all. Okay, I just think it's a good thing.
Currently, they're paying people back. In the future, they won't. That's what I'm saying. That's how a Ponzi scheme works. Like, you know this. So I don't understand why your argument makes no sense. You're like, oh yeah, they're doing the same thing that all other Ponzi schemes do, so therefore it's not a Ponzi scheme. It's like, well,
they're not a Ponzi scheme because I know that they're not running a Ponzi scheme. I know these people. I know they're trading with the funds that they're receiving. So you can tell me all the signs that you think that you see, and that you could piece them together to make sense in your head, but that's not going to change my mind that the Pettyons are running a scam because I know them. That may not satisfy you. I get that.
Yeah, you know something without facts.
If they are running the Ponzi scheme or they're not running the Ponzi scheme, if I truly believe in what I say, I'm not covering up for them. This is me. I truly believe this. So if you're calling me out for talking about something I truly believe in,
I am. Yes.
I don't know what to tell you. But I will say this. I know the people. You don't know them. And I know that doesn't satisfy you.
It's irrelevant.
But I know it's not a Ponzi scheme.
So basically, you're being duped by them in person, which is, I understand, maybe they're good at it, but okay. So Why?
Listen, that might be possible. I don't think so. I mean, but
the number one question I really have is why are they not registered with the SEC? Like it's an unregistered investment. You said that
they're not being required to.
By who?
You keep on saying they have to be, but if they're not asking to, then they're not doing it. They're not being required to in the United States. They are only trading crypto in the United States because that's what they can do legally.
So do you know what if
they weren't legally able to do that, they wouldn't be doing it.
So how do you determine what a security is?
Down this road again. You keep on holding my hand to the fire like I'm an expert finance advisor. I'm not. What I'm telling you is that if they weren't allowed to trade in the United States, they wouldn't be trading in the United States. There's 5 states they're not trading for right now. Why? Because those 5 states are requiring certain documentation to do so. The other states, the other 45 states, are not asking for that. There's proof right there.
No, that's not why. The reason that they don't trade in like Texas, for example, is because they're notorious for cracking down on Ponzi schemes early. And the other states are a lot more lenient. That's why that's happening. But the reason I'm holding this to you is because you're saying that you wouldn't promote something that without the license that's not regulated properly. It's on your About Us page. If you scroll down on your About Us page, you say that on your website. And now what you're telling me is that you don't know the laws in terms of what the proper licenses are.
So you're telling me I don't know the laws.
You just told me I'm not an expert.
What I'm telling you is that your laws and what you think are true do not apply to NovaTech, because if they did, they wouldn't be trading in the United States. Who's right or who's wrong? I got the proof. You don't.
What proof? They're
still trading in the United States. That's the proof.
Legally, yes. They've gotten a cease and desist from California.
So what?
What?
So what? That just means that government is holding up their transactions, their ability to do business there until it gets investigated and they get the court documents or whatever documents from the legal department from NovaTech to be satisfied with the state of California. That could lift again. That was never sent to the Pettons. That was only a cease and desist or a recommendation to the Justice Department of California. California never even served them, and they still shut it down just to make sure that they could answer it properly.
Okay, so securities laws in the U.S. They are federal. The securities laws you're telling me you don't understand this, and I'm telling you that I do, at least to some degree, clearly a lot more than you do.
Clearly you know more than I do.
I know, so I'm asking you to tell me what you understand about this, because you're saying that you wouldn't recommend something that doesn't have a license, that's not licensed properly. But NovaTech isn't licensed properly according to the Howey test and according to securities laws in the US. They are offering an unregistered security. It's very clear. This isn't subjective. You're acting like this is subjective.
No, I'm acting like if they're performing if they're doing trading cryptocurrency, Pennsylvania, let's say, and you're working and you're investing in NovaTech in Pennsylvania, right? They're legally able to do that for you in Pennsylvania. Until they're not legally able to do that, they're still going to be doing that in Pennsylvania. You're telling me that every place in the United States that they're offering their services, they should be shut down and they are illegally operating. If that's the case, there's a hell of a lot more smarter people than you out there with a lot more juice that you would think would make that happen by now, right?
Not necessarily. It takes a long time for these things. The average Ponzi scheme lasts 4.3 years. Again, I have to keep bringing that up. But so it comes down to that. They are offering an illegal and unregistered security. And I've shown that by the Howey test. If you want to research the Howey test yourself, you agreed that they passed the Howey test. So therefore, they're like, you've already agreed that they're offering a security. And in the thing that you said about cryptocurrencies, I've read directly from the SEC that that doesn't matter. I'm directly from the SEC. So like, there's nothing at this point, just because they are here's a very good point. You're saying they're operating illegally, why aren't they shut down? That's like someone murders someone and then they get arrested later. Like, it's the same thing. The crime comes first, it's investigated, might take a long time, and then they gather all the evidence and then they shut it down. So here's another thing, just on that point. You probably saw or heard about the murders in Idaho recently. They were investigating and watching this guy travel across the country. They were staking out his house. It takes time to do an investigation. You're saying just because they are operating, that means they're legal. I'm saying they're operating illegally and they are obviously being investigated because they've had cease and desist, fraud warnings from other governments, saying the exact same things I'm saying. I'm not making this up. And then
I read it all the time. People send me stuff all the time. I get it.
Well, you get tired of it.
You get tired of it. Of years of it. There's so many things that were brought up in 2019, 2020, 2021 from very passionate people like you, and none of it was true. None of it was true. They owned AWS and they stole everybody's money. I mean, I had to live with that for like years. I know you didn't. Said that. I know you didn't. What I'm saying is I've been dealing with these type of things where people are always questioning the authenticity of NovaTech as if I own the company. I get out in front. I promoted like any MLM or type of business that has an affiliate program. I offered my services as far as training people, right, and bringing people on. Why does that make me a bad guy? Why do I feel like I'm a bad guy for that? Like, I haven't done anything to anybody. Nobody cost any money from me. In AWS, the 10 people I signed up in AWS, I made sure that they were whole when that thing collapsed. I didn't have to. The Pettons didn't make that collapse. So when you put my hand to the fire, you're making me feel like I'm a bad guy.
Okay. Do you promise that you're going to pay back everyone that you're responsible for recruiting into NovaTech?
Absolutely. I only signed up 12 people, and most of them my kids.
Yeah, but those people signed up more people. Like you kind of start the fire.
I have some big players that signed up a lot of people. Yep.
Yeah. So in that case, you're somewhat responsible for that too, right? That's what MLM is.
What am I responsible for? I didn't sign them up.
Yeah, but you get a commission from the other people being signed up, right?
Of course. Yeah, of course we do.
We all benefit from it, but you're like, no responsibility, even though you benefit from it.
No. I have responsibility. I train them. I'm there. I am on call 24/7 with thousands of people around the globe. And I respect
people that lose money.
I don't name a program I've done where somebody lost money. Please do that, because you're making me feel like people have lost money because of me. Name one. AWS, I just got done telling you, I made whole my people that I signed up in that program, right?
But they still lost money and then you paid them back. I'm just saying, like, you're like, oops.
I didn't own the company in that aspect. What I'm saying is that particular program, AWS, when we promoted that, right? And first of all, there's 3 reasons why that collapsed. It was not a Ponzi scheme, in case you want to know. I could tell you the 3 reasons why AWS collapsed. Really? Would you like to know? Would you like to know?
No, because it's all Ponzi speak. Like,
no, it's not. No, I'll tell you right now.
The cease and desist from Texas. Yeah.
You probably heard the other 2. You probably.
Yeah, I know. See, like, I don't need to know.
Mining cryptocurrency was very profitable in 2017, into 2018, into 2019. You saw a huge drop, and all those mining contracts that the AWS was selling weren't able to keep up with the contracts that they basically said was guaranteed X amount of money, which they shouldn't have. So what happened is they took their last big sum of money, like $5 million. They built a mining farm. We went down to South America, Paraguay. I guess it's a Ponzi scheme. I actually visited the mining farm attached to the Glacial Water Company, which is the hydro plant down there. And we went to Dubai the following month. During Dubai, somebody sabotaged the whole mining farm. They lit it up, all gone, totally gone. $5 million, brand new ASIC miners. They weren't able to turn them on to satisfy the new contracts, satisfy the contracts at the time. So it was a combination of crypto diving, the cease and desist order in Texas, and they sabotaged a brand new mining farm. All the older mining rigs were all dying by that point, and they weren't able to keep up.
I have a much simpler explanation. It was a Ponzi scheme that imploded, and that all that's a cover up, just like all these other Ponzi schemes that collapse all the time. They're like, oh,
you must have lost a lot of money in freaking Ponzi schemes. You're mad at somebody.
No,
you're mad.
In 2010, Zeke Rewards was in my hometown. I think it was 2011, 2012. It was in my hometown, Lexington, North Carolina, where I'm from, and I saw a lot of people investing in it, and I was like, "Oh, that's."
I heard about that.
I was like, "That's a scheme. That's clearly a Ponzi scheme." And there was someone at my work.
From what I hear, the government had no right to do that to that gentleman, and that guy wasn't screwing anybody. So
yeah, well,
I don't know. I wasn't in it. That's before I picked up a computer my first time 5 years ago, so I wasn't around then.
It was operating illegally. But here's why I was telling people 11 years ago that Zeke Rewards was a Ponzi scheme because someone at my work at the time was trying to get me to invest. And then I was like, how are people so dumb that they don't realize that this is a scam? That was what I was thinking. And then it ended up getting shut down for operating illegally. It was a Ponzi scheme. And and then once it got shut down, like that person that was trying to recruit me into it, they got divorced. She got divorced. Like everything was bad. And I just see like it's like people getting duped by these things is crazy. But all the stuff that you told me about AWS is like the same thing happens to all these other same thing happens. It's like like all the business just went out because
well, the only difference is I actually physically lived it. I lived it. I saw it. If I didn't see it and live it, I wouldn't say.
Owning $5 million worth of equipment, like that doesn't necessarily prove that that's where the profits were generated. It was unregistered. Oh no,
absolutely. It
was an unregistered security. Like it was an unregistered security. It's the same thing as NovaTech. It's an unregistered security, which is what like the telltale signs of a Ponzi scheme. Unregistered security, that's number one. Abnormally high returns, that's two. And what NovaTech is offering is insanely ridiculous returns. Like it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable.
We're doing pretty good so far.
Well, 4.3 years is the average, right? So here's
again, I look at direct correlation between the market and the ROIs.
Yeah, but that's name one. Give me one registered security that does 365% per year on average. One registered investment, passive investment.
I don't know any. I'm not knowledgeable enough on other companies except for the ones that I know.
Study investments. Like that's what you
No. I'm not an investment. I am a support guy. All I do is I'm retired. All I do is volunteer. And by the way, just so you know, and you know this, I do my programs for a year before I even go out there publicly and talk about them, right? How many people online do that? How many? I'm doing a blockchain thing right now, GSP. I've been involved with it for 2 years. I'm finally starting to present it, right?
That doesn't matter to me. It's like,
I don't know why any of this matters to you. I really don't.
Collapsed.
Did you lose money in AWS that I don't know about?
What was our network? What was that?
I have no idea. Art Network?
Never heard. Network. It's on your website still.
Oh, so, IOTA?
Your profit service. It's ournetwork.io.
Oh, our network. That was really cool. Thank God I followed our network. Our network, it was funny. When AWS crashed, I wasn't sure which way I was going to go. You know, I knew I needed a break, right? So one of the things I dug my teeth into was a company called Our Network. I follow Our Network, and I learned so much about this business.
I don't need the pun. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut it. You go into stories. You go into stories about things, and I just don't need. I'm asking you about Our Network. What happened to it? Where's it? Like,
our network. We were never able to even put that into an affiliate aspect. We were beta testing that, and then when we finally did it for about a year, we put it onto the platform as a as something that was going to offer debit card services. And then that thing ended up not even that the company didn't take any money on anybody. Nobody got lost money. They just ended up, they weren't legally able to set up their crypto debit card. That's all. That's why I got involved with GSP, because they have that ability. Yeah, you don't even see GSP on my website. That website, that was a catch website. Again, I'm looking at something that you brought up, and it says the first qualification for successful source of income. Who bringing it to the marketplace? I will only introduce people to time-tested, which I do, legitimate opportunities. To me, NovaTech is a legitimate opportunity. It does not say anything about licensed companies. I make sure they're licensed. I do make sure that the companies that I do, like for instance, BD Swiss, #1 brokerage house in the world. I make sure that their licenses are all up to date because they have to be. They're a Forex brokerage house. Okay. Right? So again, you don't know everything I do.
I know. So I have a question here. On your website, on the About Us page, you read one line. I'm going to read one line to you too.
That's what I said. I'm trying to listen and read at the same time. Yeah, read the line. Okay.
It says, we check all the boxes for you. And one of the check marks that you say is fully licensed. The max.
Oh, you're right. It is down there. Fully licensed. The max they need to be.
Yeah. So in NovaTech,
so they're registered. They're a registered company. They're registered to trade Forex internationally. No. Yes, they are registered. They're registered MetaTrader. They're a MetaTrader 5 platform. Their name is on the platform. They're registered brokers.
Are they licensed? Brokers. Are they licensed with the SEC?
As a broker, they are registered brokers. They're not licensed to be brokers because they don't need to be.
Okay, but you say the max they need to be, and the max that they need to be is they need to be registered with the SEC to offer a security.
That's what you're saying.
No, that's what I'm telling you.
If they had to be, they would be. Right? They had to be, they would be. Here, for instance, they opened up. The first thing they opened up, which they were working on when they were doing AWS, was to have ATM machines. That's where you get that.
How many do they have?
They don't have any on the ground now. None. What happened was they started putting them out there, right? And what happened was they had, every time they wanted to open up the ATM machine to the affiliate program, they didn't have enough they didn't have enough on the ground to offer them as services through to their members. So what they did was they just put the ability to have an ATM type of feature onto their back office so they can legally do it on their back office. They don't have any machines on the ground right now. Not that I know of.
How many
one.
Did they?
They said there was one, and I didn't find it.
Yeah. So, but they market saying that they have a network of Bitcoin ATMs. I've heard a lot of people say this that are involved in NovaTech.
That was probably going back about 3-4 years ago. That was prior to COVID. When COVID hit, a lot of places that closed down, it wasn't worth keeping it in there. They warehoused them, and they haven't put it back out into the field since then.
Well, they only ever had one, anyways.
No, they have. Well, whether they have 1 or 20 of them, they still have a ATM machine. I don't know how many exactly they have in that aspect. But the point I was trying to make was they had to go out and get that FinCEN license, right? So they had
nothing to do though with offering a security. That's nothing.
No. I know it doesn't. What I'm saying is it shows that they'll go out and do what they have to do to make it legal. So if they needed that for their ATM business, they prove right there they're able to go out and get that. Well, they don't just hand them out to anybody. So if they are fraudsters, if they have a history of being fraudsters, then they fooled the United States government.
On what? What did they fool?
I guess. Well, how did they hand out licenses? They just hand out licenses to criminal crooks and people that run Ponzi schemes. You think that?
It's only a FinCEN, which is like allowing them to have a Bitcoin ATM. It's just a FinCEN. It's like, that's not what they need to do. Here's what would satisfy all of this is they would register with the SEC because they are offering, not according to me, but according to the United States securities law.
You know what I'm going to get? I'm going to get a spelled out reason why they don't have to register with the SEC, and I'll get it to you because you're not going to let this go.
Well, of course not. You admitted that they passed the Howey test, and I've read to you from the SEC that it doesn't matter if the investment is made in cryptocurrency. It doesn't matter the medium of the investment. The only thing that matters for the Howey test is investment of money in a common enterprise with a reasonable expectation of profit derived from the effort of others. That's all that matters. If you offer that, you have to register with the SEC, period. That's not me. Like, it's literally the law. Like, it's not, I'm not, this is
right.
And you agreed. So I don't know why you're still disagreeing with that part.
Because
so if they're offering an unregistered security, that means that they don't have to prove that they don't have any audited proof that they're actually trading, which that would satisfy everyone.
You don't think that they're audited on their trading? After all this time, nobody's audited them on the trading. Nobody. Matter of fact, it's probably one of the biggest platforms, but one of the biggest, most exposed platform out there. Yeah. You don't think that people have audited their trading?
It doesn't matter if people audit their trading. What matters is the SEC audits their trading because they have to be registered. Okay. That's the point. You realize that's the point in registering with the SEC? Is to be audited by them to make sure that you're actually doing what you say you're doing, which for them would be trading to make profit. So it doesn't matter if you have a fake, if Cynthia Pentagon says that they had an FBI report that she burned, like that's comical. Like, why would she burn that whenever, one, she never got it. Two, the FBI doesn't do independent reports like that. Three, like, why would you burn proof that you're trading? Like that makes zero sense.
Man, but I'd have a fun time putting you and Cynthia in the same room. She'd eat you alive, man. You don't even know who you're putting things in people's heads and accusing me of doing the same thing.
Let me send you another link. I'm sorry to cut you off.
And the killer is you don't have one person. You don't have one person coming to you saying I lost money in AWS.
We're about to get cut off. We're about to get cut off. Let me send you another link, okay?
I'm going to bed, man. It's after midnight.
Okay. All right. Well,
good night. I'm going to bed. It's after midnight in New York, man. I'm tired.
Okay. Cheers, man. Good to talk to you.
All right, buddy. Thanks.